Hello everyone, Joe Neate here, executive producer on Sea of Thieves with another weekly dev update. Today I wanted to take some time to talk about a bunch of stuff that's going to be coming into insider testing fairly soon. So some of it coming in this week and some a little bit further on. But there's quite a lot of stuff that's going to be coming into insiders, so I wanted to talk about that, what's coming in, so what you can expect to see. And obviously that will then be making its way through and into the main game itself. First of all, I wanted to talk about pets and our digital business. So as we've talked about before, pets are going to be part of our digital business offering, so a way for us to generate additional revenue on top of Sea of Thieves as we continue to run it as a service. And pets are going to be coming back to insiders fairly soon for it to begin testing again. So obviously we had these in prior to anniversary launching. We took some feedback on them. They weren't quite where we wanted them to be, but they're getting much closer now to the place that we really want them. And so we're going to be bringing those back in and making sure they work as intended, gathering feedback from people, and making sure obviously it works at scale with our insider audience. But I wanted to take this opportunity to also talk a little bit more about kind of our wider plans alongside pets as we look to be bringing this kind of additional revenue stream into Sea of Thieves itself. Just a bit of a reminder around the principles that we've applied to our thinking around the kind of digital business growth. So first of all, we never wanted to do anything which provides kind of a power advantage or anything. So we're never going to sell any kind of power in Sea of Thieves. We're never going to introduce something that kind of separates players. We always loved people kind of being together in Sea of Thieves, and that same approach applies to our digital business. We always want it to be completely optional, so you don't have to buy into this if you don't want. And we always want you to know what you're going to be buying, so there's never going to be any kind of loot box mechanic or anything that's kind of hidden away from you. So those are kind of our principles. And so obviously pets fits into that nicely. It's a fun social thing that's going to be just kind of great for anybody that chooses to buy one, but also really great socially for anybody in your crew because you get to play with it, you get to experience it. We really like this as kind of almost the kind of pillar of a release of our digital business kind of approach. But then alongside this, we are going to be bringing in a couple of other things too, so I wanted to talk about those. So first up, emotes. So, we obviously there's a default set of emotes that everybody has that they can use to kind of express their emotions in Sea of Thieves. And we are going to be bringing in additional sets of emotes that people can optionally purchase. So again, just ways for people to express themselves more. We really like these. We're going to we've been having some fun with the ones we're going to be bringing in, and that will be coming in alongside pets. To begin with, though, pets will be coming into insiders first, but emotes will be coming in kind of soon after that as we start just testing all of these kind of digital business bits. So alongside pets, alongside emotes, we're also going to be bringing special ship cosmetics that celebrate much loved games or characters similar in style to the Banjo and Perfect Dark stuff that we've done in the past. So yeah, to begin with, you'll see pets coming in to insiders, but then you'll see emotes, you'll see the ship cosmetic stuff starting to come through as well as we bring that all in together. And our plan is to kind of release that together. So when we bring pets in, you'll see the other stuff alongside it to the wider audience. But for now, that stuff's going to start appearing in insiders. We'll be looking for feedback on kind of all the different elements, and then we'll be looking to kind of package that up and ultimately release it to players once we've gone through that insider testing. So I also wanted to give an update on crossplay. So as we talked about previously, we wanted to give console players using a controller the option to kind of potentially opt out of playing with kind of players who are in the mixed kind of crossplay pool. So we've been doing a bunch of work on this in the background, so I wanted to give an update on this and give you kind of an idea of the status and some of the details of how we're implementing this. So first of all, this is coming to Arena first, because that's where we've seen the most feedback around people in a competitive setting kind of wanting this option. So we've prioritized the work for Arena to begin with. And also, as we've kind of dug down into the lower level detail of how we wanted to go and implement this, we've decided that making this a preference in terms of the setting and in terms of how it works in the kind of background for the matchmaking itself is going to be the preferred route here to give the best experience to players. So if you select the setting so you're on Xbox, you've got a controller and you want to play with other players on a controller, it'll go through a number of different kind of searches looking for people to match with. And in most cases it will find people and you'll just be moved into that pool. But in certain cases, whether that's like there's not enough people basically looking for this kind of match at that time, it will ultimately, if it can't find those matches, rather than just failing and telling you there's not, the match can't be found or whatever, what we will do there is it will start looking kind of as a lower project. It will start then looking through the mixed pool just to try and get you into match itself. So this was something that we discussed and we felt was a better solution than, at certain times of day or in certain locations around the world where it just maybe isn't able to find a match for whatever reason. We decided to make it a preference. So you're still going to get into a game, you're still going to have a kind of fun arena experience. So in the rare case that the game can't find your preferred match and kind of operates on its fallback and moves you into a crossplay match, you will be notified of this. So the game will kind of let you know that we couldn't find that match and we're moving you into the crossplay pool. We felt this was the best experience for everybody, just to ensure that, regardless of your preference, you're still going to be able to get into a match rather than kind of be left with a kind of fail state. So that's what we're going to be bringing into Insiders fairly soon and making sure that it works, it behaves as expected, and then we'll be rolling that out to the wider game. So this will be coming to Arena first, and then we plan to bring it to Adventure after that. Moving on to the next one, so I wanted to talk a little bit about hit registration for the weapons. So we've had feedback around this for a little while now, especially around the kind of gun registration, and it's something we've been investigating for quite a while in terms of just projectiles and the reliability kind of over the network. We think we've made some significant improvements to this. We've been testing some improvements to sword stuff over the last week or so into Insiders, and now we're bringing in the gun improvements that we've been testing. We've seen some super promising results from this from internal testing, but we really have to test this in Insiders and just see how it kind of behaves out in the wild. But we think we've made significant improvements, just the reliability of kind of the hit registration for projectiles. So, assuming that all goes as intended in Insiders, then we will be seeing that roll out to the main game fairly soon. But really promising so far, really kind of excited about this and the improvements that this can make to Combat All Up. So yeah, really keen to get this out to Insiders this week and just kind of get that feedback and validate the tests that we've been running internally. So yeah, some really promising stuff there. Over the last kind of few weeks, we've been running some tests in Insiders with different ship sizes in Arena. So obviously we launched with Galleon for Arena, and we've actually been testing some different stuff in Insiders. And the first thing we tested for a little while was actually bringing in the kind of the brig and the sloop into the same session with Galleon. So you're all in the same world, all competing, and kind of just giving it kind of player choice as to which ship size you want and seeing how that kind of went up against each other. We tested it for quite a while. We've seen some pros, we've seen some cons around the experience, and we've kind of come to the decision that that's not the right way for us to bring in sloops and brigs into the arena itself. So we've kind of parked that for now, but super valuable feedback that we got from all of our Insiders, and we're now looking at kind of continuing some tests just to decide on the best way to bring sloops and brigs into the arena itself. So yeah, more testing going on in Insiders at the moment, but we've decided that kind of bringing them together into one mode, into one thing, isn't the way we want to introduce these into the arena. So moving on, wanted to talk a little bit about black powder stashes. So really good to see how this has landed in the wild, and ultimately actually just all of the kind of fixes and accessibility improvements and stuff that came as black powder stashes. It was a big list of stuff in the build notes, and really cool to see all of that get released. So we had a couple of questions around the black powder stashes and clarification around what's time limited and kind of what isn't, and just some feedback and questions around that all up. So we're having some discussions internally, haven't quite managed to have them all before recording this video. So we'll hit that next week in next week's dev update, but we're just kind of taking in all the feedback and questions from everybody. But yeah, we're here, we're listening, some really good feedback on it. So I'll clarify everything and our approach to that kind of moving forward in next week's dev update. Finally, just a reminder for everybody that our Twitch Rivals event is going live later today. Really excited to see how this goes down. There's some great people who've been invited. There's going to be some real kind of competitive sessions in there, I believe, and I'm really looking forward to just seeing how this goes down both today and tomorrow. So yeah, make sure you tune in, and if you haven't already, make sure that you go to kind of seaofthieves.com and look to how to link your account, so that if you're watching both today and tomorrow, you get a chance to earn the Obsidian sets that are kind of up for grabs as part of watching Twitch Rivals. So a lot of stuff in today's update today. As always, look forward to questions and feedback, and I'll make sure that I tackle it in next week's video. But aside from that, I'll see you on the seas. Cheers.
We realise that the Sea of Thieves community is very passionate about the varied topics Joe covered in today's developer update, and so Joe has elected to remain completely neutral for the end slate. Turns out there is a time and a place for humour.